Kind of doing double duty here with the interview. My next interview, I'm talking with a couple of guys from the band Dead Daisies, doing it on the talk show, the Today's Talk, and then playing it back a little bit later on my midday show that I have on Classic Rock 100.1. Gentlemen, thanks a lot for joining me this morning. Appreciate it. New album coming out, Burn It Down, drops in a couple of days. Pretty exciting to see new rock and roll come out of you guys.
Bob, thanks, man. Thanks for having us. Me and Dean are very happy to be with you today.
Yeah, brother.
We had a great time making this record, and we really hope people are going to enjoy it.
So it's kind of cool because I had to do a little bit of background and find out more about you guys and what you're doing. And it's kind of like a super group. You get a bunch of guys together that have played in all the bands that I grew up listening to in the 80s.
I don't even think about it. If I thought about that, I'm sitting across from Deen Castronovo and who he's played with, all that stuff, I might get freaked out. So I just try to keep it simple.
It is. It is a super group, man. I mean, you got the best of the best here. I mean, the best musicians.
And we like soup too. I like ramen, soup.
It's delicious.
It's a soup group.
I'm more of a tomato basil, but hey, it's all good.
Are things different? Is rock and roll different in 2018 than it was in the mid 80s?
It's definitely different. The whole scene's changed, and it's exciting, and it's always like, you got to adapt to the time and what's going on with music. But we're still, a focus with this record was to bring it back. Bring it back to do a really heavy '70s style record, and do it with vinyl and all the goodies that come with that. And hopefully that's what we got.
Well, Doug, you mentioned vinyl. Is that your format of choice?
My format of choice actually is I love vinyl. It's the best sound ever. And actually, cassettes are I heard cassettes are starting to come back, which is cool. But
really,
seriously, I heard somebody told me that the other day. I thought that's great because I still have a couple tape players. But for me, traveling so much, I end up just I've got some nice headphones, and I end up listening to stuff off my phone.
Right.
MP3s. But yeah, the sound quality wise, vinyl's the best.
Dean, what about you?
Again, vinyl is such a rich, warm format, and I've always loved that. For me, bro, it is. It's all digital. It's all on the phone. When I learn songs or when I'm listening to music, it's in the car. And I crank it in the car, and that's like my therapy. So that's the easiest way, to get the tunes out. Unless you got CDs and stuff, which are kind of a hassle to be carrying around to get scratched. You can't find them in the car. It's kind of a pain, but it's kind of nice to have. Just the phone ready and Bluetooth it and crank it.
When you mentioned that cassettes are coming back, I thought to myself, oh no, because my wife made me get rid of all my cassettes just a couple of years ago, and I too, like you guys, I prefer vinyl, but nowadays it's all ones and zeros with the digital music, that's for sure. Dead Daisies, what can we expect from this new album?
Well, it's a hard driving record. It's got a lot of different shades though too. It's heavy. It's got some dark spots, but it's also a very positive message overall. Burn It Down to me is burn down anything that's stopping you from being the best you can be, and get a fresh start, and then you're resurrected and you rise up and you're free.
Yeah, set me free. Perfect.
I had the opportunity to I listened to the album yesterday, and Burn It Down to me has it has an 80s sound. It's kind of the 80s hairband musical sound to it. And then like listening to the song Bitch, that kind of reminded me of, it had kind of the Rare Earth beat to it with Get Ready.
We don't think about it. We never think about that stuff. We just basically we grew up influenced by 60s and 50s, 60s, 70s music, and for some people might say it sounds like a 70s record. Some people might say it sounds contemporary because some of those 70s sounds and stuff are kind of coming back now. But we don't really think about that. We just make music. That's
I think we just go in and what feels best. I think when we started writing, I think we were going into one direction. We were kind of aiming in one direction, and then I think Marco came up with one riff. And it just took, it took a left-hand turn, and we followed that, and it came out really cohesive. It sounds great. All of it fits really well together.
It'll be interesting to see what your listeners, what vibe they get off of it. Some people, like I said, some people think it's 70s. You're saying 80s, and some people say contemporary. So who knows? It's just we wrote some songs, and that's a snapshot of where we were in November last year.
Right. Dean, I know that that you being the former drummer of Journey, that your voice is very familiar to a lot of people. As you know, do you have a chance to sing it all on this new album?
Well, I have the awesome honor of backing up John, being a background singer for him. I mean, that guy he's got some pipes. So, for me, I'm hitting all the high stuff, all the background high stuff. So, yeah, it's great, man. I mean, John's so good.
Right.
He's
well,
an amazing singer.
I had a chance to see John perform with Motley Crue when they came through La Crosse many years ago, and that was a good show, and it was definitely a different vibe. So, is the chance of seeing you guys in the States a possibility? Because I was looking at your tour date, and they're all they're far away from here.
Well, we got some dates in the U.S. starting in, I guess it's August 15th in Cleveland is the first show, and we're going through for about a month on that particular run, and not sure where, but I think we'll probably be close, if not in Wisconsin somewhere.
Right.
So the best thing to do is go to thedeaddaisies.com, check it out, because they're constantly updating, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff, because we're always involved. Like every day, we're posting videos from rehearsal, and we really want to bring the fans with us, and make it together.
Right. How did you guys get involved in the Dead Daisies?
Started out, I think, pretty much. Marco has a black book with every musician in it. No, it was Marco and David Lowy are the kind of the original members, and they got a lineup that was pretty solid with Richard Fortus and Dizzy, but then Guns N' Roses got back together, which was great for the music scene and great for all of us. And Richard said, you should get Doug to play guitar. And so they called me, and we made a record together, and then Dean came in and just killed it on Burn It Down, just killer riffs and beats and great vibe, and but it's really about, we're all friends. We've known each other for years. Mm-hmm. I've known John Corabi since high school, and Marco and I were in Whitesnake. Dean and I toured together with Journey and Whitesnake, and we all just we're all friends. When you have
like the term supergroup, when you have all you guys working together that have all had successes in your separate in your separate lives coming together, is there any ego at all when it plays to you guys all getting together?
Let me tell you, it's pretty rough. No.
Well, let me be honest, man. I've been around, with a lot of bands with egos. I've played in a lot of bands with guys with egos, and that's the beauty of this band. I mean, I've come in and it's a mutual respect, mutual admiration, and we actually like working together. We like being around each other, and that's 90% of the battle right there, man. I mean, if you got that kind of chemistry and you the camaraderie, I mean, it's fun, it's effortless, and it's a pleasure, and it's fun to do. It's not work. It's we just love doing it.
Favorite song off the album for both of you guys?
For me, "Set Me Free" is kind of my one right now. It's a ballad. We didn't have a ballad on the last record, and this time we didn't plan on it, but we wrote that song, and it's just cool. This record has some different flavors on it, and it's Judgment Day and stuff like that. But "Set Me Free" is kind of my one right now.
Dean, what's yours?
For me, it's a toss-up. I mean, between Resurrected and Burn It Down. Those two, man. I mean, it's hard to pick one out of those two. But if I was going to lean towards one, I'd say Burn It Down.
Excellent, gentlemen. Good luck with the dropping of the new album coming up in April. From what I've heard of it, it sounds great. Love to talk to you guys again sometime if we can make that happen. Dean and Doug, thanks a lot for joining me. Burn It Down, the name of the album. The band is called Dead Daisies. You can find out more information about them on deaddaisies.com.